Have you ever felt it? That subtle or perhaps not so subtle sense that the world around you is veering off course? A cacophony of conflicting voices, a relentless barrage of information, a feeling that the very foundations of shared understanding are shifting. It can feel like society itself is losing its collective mind, leaving us adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Welcome. In today's exploration, we delve into a question that feels more relevant than ever. When the external world seems chaotic, polarized, and perhaps even irrational, what anchors can we, as individuals, hold on to? This isn't about predicting societal collapse, nor is it about retreating from the world. Instead, it's about equipping ourselves with timeless wisdom from philosophy and psychology to navigate these turbulent waters with clarity, resilience, and an unwavering sense of self. Understanding these anchors is vital. It's about preserving our inner peace, making sound judgments, and continuing to live a meaningful life even when the collective narrative feels fragmented. So let's explore how we can find solid ground when the earth beneath our feet seems to tremble. Before we seek anchors, it's crucial to acknowledge what this societal losing of mind might entail. It's not necessarily about overt, widespread delusion, but often manifests in more insidious ways. Firstly, there's the challenge of information overwhelm and misinformation. We're bombarded with so much data that discerning truth from falsehood becomes a monumental task. Echo chambers amplify biases, and critical thinking can be drowned out by viral narratives. Secondly, we observe an erosion of nuance and increased polarization. Complex issues are often reduced to black and white, us versus them dichotomies. Meaningful dialogue is replaced by tribal shouting matches, both online and offline. Thirdly, the pressure of constant change is undeniable. The sheer pace of technological, social, and economic change can leave many feeling disoriented, anxious, and struggling to adapt. And finally, we must consider what the renowned psychologist Carl Jung called the collective shadow, the repressed, unacknowledged, and often darker aspects of a society that can erupt when not integrated. We might see this in sudden outbursts of irrationality or scapegoating. It's important to recognize these patterns, not to despair, but to understand the landscape we are navigating. This awareness is the first step towards reclaiming our agency. Pause. Another brief moment for a subtle musical breath or vocal pause. So amidst this external flux, where do we find stability? One of the most robust answers comes from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. At its heart, Stoicism teaches us to build an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind, impervious to external chaos. The cornerstone of Stoic practice is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a former slave turned revered philosopher, articulated this powerfully. He taught that some things are in our control and others not. Our thoughts, judgments, desires, aversions, and actions, these are within our power. External events, the opinions of others, societal trends, health, wealth, these are largely, if not entirely, outside of our direct control. When society seems to lose its mind, a Stoic would ask, is this event, this outcry, this trend within my control? If not, then my primary focus should be on my response to it. Can I respond with reason, with virtue, with equanimity? Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about understanding emotions and not being ruled by them. It's about cultivating virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These virtues become our internal compass. For example, imagine being caught in a torrent of online outrage about an issue. The Stoic approach isn't to ignore it, but to first analyze, is the information accurate? What are my own biases? Second, control your response. Instead of reactive anger or fear, can I respond with a considered judgment or perhaps a conscious decision not to engage if it serves no virtuous purpose? And third, focus on action. What virtuous actions can I take within my sphere of influence? This practice of differentiating what we can and cannot control and focusing our energy on the former is a powerful anchor. It allows us to maintain our composure and act purposefully, regardless of external storms. Another profound anchor can be found by turning inward, guided by the insights of psychology, particularly the work of Carl Jung. Jung emphasized the journey of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming a psychologically whole and distinct individual. When external societal norms become confusing or unreliable, the process of individuation encourages us firstly to connect with the deeper self. Jung believed that beyond our conscious ego lies a vast unconscious, containing immense wisdom and resources. This includes the self archetype, a symbol of wholeness and our true center. Connecting with this deeper self through introspection, dream analysis, or creative expression can provide a profound sense of grounding. Secondly, we must confront the shadow. As mentioned, societies have shadows, and so do individuals. The shadow contains the parts of ourselves we deny or repress. In times of collective unrest, our own unacknowledged shadows can be easily projected onto others, fueling conflict. By courageously and honestly examining our own shadow aspects, we reduce our reactivity to external madness and become more integrated. We stop seeing the enemy solely outside ourselves. Thirdly, the journey inward helps us to find meaning from within. Jung argued that meaning is not something solely imposed from the outside, but can be discovered and created from our inner world. When external sources of meaning falter, the individual who has cultivated a rich inner life, who understands their personal symbols and myths, can still find purpose and direction. Carl Jung's psychology teaches us that the more we understand our own inner landscape, our complexities, our light, and our darkness, the less we are swayed by the collective's undulations. Our sense of identity becomes rooted in something deeper and more enduring than shifting societal sands. Beyond these grand philosophical and psychological frameworks, there are practical, personal anchors we can actively cultivate daily. First, clarify your core values. What truly matters to you? Honesty, compassion, integrity, learning, creativity. When external pressures mount, your clearly defined values act as a non-negotiable guide for your behavior. It can be helpful to write them down and reflect on them regularly. Second, practice critical thinking and media literacy. Don't be a passive consumer of information. Question sources, identify biases, including your own, and seek diverse perspectives. This is a crucial skill in an age of misinformation. Third, cultivate meaningful connections. While society at large may seem fractured, seek out or build small communities based on shared values, mutual respect, and genuine connection. These relationships provide support and a sense of belonging. Fourth, engage in grounding practices. This could be mindfulness meditation, spending time in nature, journaling, engaging in a hobby that absorbs you, or even simple physical exercise. These practices reconnect you to the present moment and your own being, away from the external noise. Fifth, seek or create purpose. Even in tumultuous times, finding a sense of purpose, however small, can be incredibly grounding. This could be contributing to your local community, pursuing a passion project, or simply striving to be a positive influence in your interactions. And finally, limit exposure. It's wise to stay informed, but constant immersion in sensational news or divisive social media can be detrimental to your mental state. Curate your information intake. Set boundaries for your own well-being. These personal anchors are not about ignoring the world, but about building an internal resilience that allows you to engage with it more consciously and constructively. When society seems to lose its mind, it's a natural human response to feel overwhelmed or lost. But as we've explored through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, the profound insights of Carl Jung's psychology, and the cultivation of personal anchors, we discover that our truest source of stability lies within. We cannot always control the storms raging outside, but we can always choose how we navigate them. By strengthening our inner citadel, by embarking on the journey of individuation, and by consciously choosing our values and actions, we can hold fast. We can remain a beacon of reason, compassion, and sanity, not just for ourselves, but perhaps as an inspiration for others. The power to find your footing, your center, your truth always resides within you. The journey of navigating a complex world is ongoing, and every step towards inner clarity is a victory. What are the anchors you hold on to? Share your thoughts and practices in the comments below. Your insights could help someone else on their path. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more tips to crush your goals. Thank you for joining this exploration. Until next time, stay anchored.